Because Nick and I had a review. It is my fault. It is no longer with us. So I'll let Nick go first, then
it's actually kind of funny though, because he literally got us in the car driving down the driving from the movie theater.
Yeah.
And like he's like, let's podcast right now. And like he pulled out his phone and you could hear like the wind blowing and everything like that.
No, the audio quality was actually remarkably okay.
Really?
Even though your car, you can hear a lot of shit.
Remarkably okay.
Well,
yeah, remarkably okay.
Because I have a convertible in the top. It doesn't matter.
Top wasn't down or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't
that
down.
Weird.
But no, I really did enjoy the movie. I was talking to Renee about it earlier. I love the fact that there's a lot of questions that were answered, but also a lot of questions that were brought up. Like there's a lot of things where it's like I wasn't answered about that. I know a lot of people.
Just keep it short too, because there's 5 of us here.
I know a lot of people.
Nick.
Yeah. You know what? No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Just wanted to remind you.
Anyway, what was it? So what ended up happening is that I think the movie is really interesting. The movie did a good job on rebooting the series, kind of giving us a fresh start, doing really well on what exactly J.J. Abrams had to do. He had a heavy task, and he did an amazing job with it. A lot of people are complaining about the movie, but you know what? I think they're very much nitpicking on what the movie has to do.
Gene,
I really loved it. I saw it 4 times.
I'm on that same level.
Okay.
I'm on 4 times.
Anyone higher than 4 times?
Anyone watch it more than 4 times here?
2.
Oh, okay.
Renee?
Once.
Okay.
Oh.
Renee's just messing up, man.
Actually, no. You know what? He has a life. That's why.
Hey, I'm seeing it again Sunday. So.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
It got better each time, I want to say.
Yeah.
I liked how there was still stuff you didn't know, because that's like how the first one is, A New Hope, where it's like they talk about the Emperor and you never see him, and just some other stuff, that they don't answer because it feels like more of a world. But yeah, I really liked it. All the characters I really loved. They were all like part of like adolescence. Like it seemed like Finn was a 5-year-old. He was like a giant 5-year-old, because he has like his own mind or individuality for the first time, like when you're growing up. And like he's like the 5-year-old being introduced to the Star Wars. Like he thinks everyone's cool.
Yeah.
The Star Wars world, I mean.
I love the Star Wars.
And Rey is like, or excuse me, Kylo Ren, he's like a big whiny teenager. Like he's like a big baby. I really loved it. Like Vader, like he would have choked someone like the first instant they said something like bad to him, but Kylo Ren just throws a big tantrum and like destroys stuff, and he's still whining about his parents. Like the Twitter account for Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren is the best thing to happen already in this year.
Rich, a quick side note. I thought it was really funny. I showed my little cousin the original trilogy, and by the end of it, like whenever somebody would mess up, the first thing she would yell out was, "You're gonna get choked."
Yep.
You about to get choked. Like that was like the first thing she would yell out. And, like it was so great.
Yeah. And Rey's like a kind of like a 20-something. Doesn't know what she wants to do with her life. Yeah. But yeah, I really liked it. Just everything about it was cool. Seeing Han Solo again. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Heavy spoilers.
I started crying so bad the first time I saw it. I moved back in my seat when the stab happened. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't want it to happen.
When Han Solo killed Kylo Ren?
No,
when that happened.
When that happened?
Yeah.
Renee, Hayden, what do you guys think?
You go first. You go. All right.
What are you, twins? Jesus Christ, come
on. For me, let me see. Hold on. Let me turn this down a bit. Okay. For me, when I saw the movie first, I was, just happy watching it all the way through. I think if anything, I rate this at least second or third best Star Wars movie for me. At least that's just me.
Okay.
I loved Kylo Ren even more in this film.
You were unsure about him?
No, I mean, I knew I was going to like him, but I didn't think I was going to like him a lot more than I initially did. One character stood out that I didn't think I was going to like, but I ended up liking was Poe.
Okay.
I ended up liking Poe. Yeah, he's actually really cool.
Poe the bro.
Yeah.
Want to hang out with him?
Yeah, basically.
He's just a nice guy.
He's like that cool guy. Like, you know what? That guy's really cool. Let's see what he does. Let's follow him.
You know what? I think the moment in which everybody fell in love with Poe and was like, I'm totally on board with this guy, is that first moment you get with him. And it's very much like, do you talk? Do I talk?
Yeah.
And like, it's not very much. It's literally the lines.
Yeah. But I love that. And it's just kind of like, it automatically kind of puts you into, that's his personality. Like, even in the face of the Sith Lord.
Yeah.
In this
Kylo Ren's not a Sith Lord.
Well, I mean, to them.
I think he's like an apprentice.
I thought he was officially not.
He's
not even, because he has no Darth.
Yeah, he has no Darth. But I mean, just in general, for big bad guy who can like hold a laser, a laser beam and everything like that.
Yeah.
Normal. I mean, me personally, I'd be wetting my pants. I'd be going like, "Did you see that laser
no,
bullet?"
I'm not saying it's not scary.
No, but that's the thing though, is like in that situation of just kind of going like, so do I talk? Do you talk?
Yeah.
Who talks first? Like just that moment of sarcasm just kind of goes like automatically. That's who this character is, and I really do enjoy that.
Wish we saw more of them.
I think
But we'll see more.
If anything, one more thing to say about this film was that what I loved about it even more was the chemistry with everyone. When Poe and Finn meet for the first time, it was funny seeing that.
The only thing in which I did wish was I wished that Poe
Space
and
boyfriends.
no, which I do
Yes.
wish that Poe and Rey had an actual scene together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They, in the
Okay.
entire
Yeah.
that was the only thing I kind of had a problem with, where it was like, at no point in the movie did the new Trinity kind of like meet and everything like that. Like you had Poe was kind of like the middle friend between everybody. Like he's that guy that introduces you to other people.
That you just hear about.
Yeah.
He's so cool. He's so cool. He knows everyone.
Yeah.
People don't know him.
Everyone in the
Like he
galaxy.
knows Rey, and then he knows Poe, and he's the connection between the two.
Yeah.
I think
Even
it would
Snoke is probably like, oh, that guy's pretty cool.
yeah, like it's really interesting, but I think that would have been really cool even if they would have had like a moment together. Like even if it would have been that they would have been separated on Jakku, like they would have all met Rey, and then he would have been like blasted away, and that's what like kind of went like
I have things to say, but first, Hayden.
Not finally to me. First off, I'm just gonna say I really didn't have any really high expectations for this movie because for some weird reason I have really bad luck when it comes to me like being excited for a movie, and it always lets me down. So I'm like, you know what, a clean slate. I didn't really pay attention to it. I just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go in this movie with a clean mind and everything. I came out of that movie very happy. I really did. The one thing that I was noticing when I was watching the whole movie is like it brought the magic back of the originals.
Yeah, it did.
Like, because me and Renee saw the prequels the day before because I don't know why I bought them.
Wait, like the actual prequels? Like no like fan edit, no anything like that. Like you guys watched the prequels?
We watched and sat through all the prequels.
Who had a gun to your head?
I just did it because I felt like it.
Well, you bought them at
I bought like the whole trilogy for like $20 on Blu-ray.
ladies.
So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. But other than that, then we're watching now. I'm like, there's nothing good about these movies, really.
I was ripping on Attack of the Clones so
No,
much.
that's the
Attack of the
worst.
Clones is pretty bad.
That's the
Hold on.
worst.
If anything, John Williams kills it in that movie.
No, John
Like,
Williams is amazing.
Kills it in those movies.
And
Like,
I got one more thing to say about
No,
that.
but
yeah, finish
like
up.
I was saying, it brought the magic back.
absolutely.
Like I'm gonna see it a third time. That shows
Yeah.
how much I like it.
Oh yeah, I've seen it 4 times, and like I thought it was so funny because when I came back the 4th time, I walked into my house and my dad was like, "Where'd you guys go?" I was like, "Movies." He goes, "You went to go see Star Wars again, didn't you?"
That's what my mom did. I was driving because we went to see like at 10 o'clock. And I was driving down the street. My mom calls me like, "Oh, where are you?" I'm like, "I'm going to the movie to see Star Wars." I'm like, it's like, well, it's coming out tonight or it's out
I thought it was.
today.
Yeah.
I just thought that point was really funny though because my dad's like, "Why did you see it so many times?" And I'm like,
It's an
"Dad,
experience.
I'm like, Dad, I have literally spent $100 on this."
And
Okay,
that takes
wow.
and that takes me back to
How? You only saw it 4 times.
When was it? The Chinese
IMAX.
in IMAX.
That's right.
And that-
There's a lot of
That
IMAX.
brings me
That's
back
up.
to the point where like the prequels weren't good because I remember seeing episode 3 and I thought it was like really good at the time. Then I asked my dad, I'm like, "So Dad, what do you think?" He's like, "I didn't like it." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it wasn't like the originals."
I mean, that's not even the problem. They're just
I know, but like
bad
that's what my
movies.
dad
Yeah.
said because he grew up when it originally came out and there was some magic
Yeah.
then. And I finally realized I'm like, he was right. He was right. At the time, I was just like, how long that movie came out? I was like
See-
7th grade, 14.
Well, see, that was the thing though, is that I remember when Phantom Menace came out, everybody loved Phantom Menace
Well,
when it came out.
I do have an
first.
exception to that because that was the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater. So it
Exactly.
has some
Nice.
sentimental
Okay.
value to me.
Exactly, and which I remember watching the prequels and going like, these movies are amazing
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I think that because that's what happened to me when I first went to go see it the second time. When I went to go see The Force Awakens the second time, I was like, okay, was it nostalgia that sent me through this movie and made me enjoy it, or was it legitimately a good movie? In which I was telling Renee earlier, I went to go see that movie at 8 o'clock, got out by 11, went again at 5 a.m. the next morning. And I had only had 3 hours of sleep. And I was like, I'm going to fall asleep during this movie. I already know it. Like, I've only had 3 hours. Watched the entire movie and went, nope, legitimately a good movie.
yeah.
Because even when I was tired, I was still engaged. I was still enjoying the movie.
Yeah.
There was still a lot of like action pieces where I was like, this is amazing. This is perfect. This is exactly
There's only
what I wanted
one
to see.
piece of the movie that I think is on prequels level of
stop.
bad. It's the sentient carnivorous tentacle monsters.
No, I think it's
or testicle monsters.
Tes-
Excuse me.
hentai monsters.
Hentai monsters.
The
I think-
balls of hentai that Chewbacca and Han
Yeah.
Solo have on their ship. I think that set piece is terrible. You can cut it out of the movie.
You
It's
hate
so
that
boring.
entire thing because you said
Yeah.
you hate when you see the people from the raid because it takes.
Oh,
you out of-
yeah.
That's
that
not
was
the
like-
reason I don't like it, though.
No,
I mean,
but-
that adds to it, but that's a personal thing. That's
No,
not a
no.
problem
Does
with
it
the
start
movie.
there? That whole scene?
No.
No,
Okay.
but here's the thing.
the
though,
scene starts with the monsters getting out.
Oh,
It's just like
okay.
an
That's it.
obligatory action thing. It's whatever.
It's just
some
them
of the-
getting the Millennium Falcon and having a reason
Yeah, but you
to,
could
like,
have done
shoot
that
off,
like without that. And
No,
so
yeah.
I
It's a set
sort of
piece.
like
I
that
like
scene.
that Mark Ellis from Schmo's Nose showed up as the bounty hunter. No.
That's funny.
Oh,
Was
looks
that
like-
Mark Ellis?
No, it looks like him though.
Yeah,
It looks
like
like
him.
him.
no, I was like, I thought, you know
Kinda
what? I
does.
thought it was really funny though because when I
Filled
saw
out
it,
the Conja Club.
yeah, I saw
uh,
it and I was like, that's not Mark Ellis. Like, what
No,
is
that's totally.
that?
I
I had it on IMDb.
tweeted it.
I
Like,
honestly
hey,
did it on IMDb.
good job.
I
Star
kind of
Wars.
like that though because in the original one you never saw Han Solo do smuggler things.
I mean,
He
sure,
just-
that's
he
fine.
trans-
You see him
he
smuggle
transport
things,
them.
and you
You
see
know-
he sucks at it.
You know what? I think
He always talks his way out of
That's
it.
a good thing, though.
He
I like that.
survives.
Yeah.
the one thing I did enjoy out of that entire like ordeal
Yeah.
or that sequence was the fact of the comedy aspect of it, where it was just like, how many times have I ever let you down? Twice.
It was the second
And-
time.
And,
what
then
was
he
the
was like,
second
and then
time?
like he's like thinking about it, and he goes, "What's the second time?" And like it's that moment of like you're kind of thinking about it.
There's
going-
other funnier scenes. So I
there are
yeah.
funnier scenes. Don't
That
get me
part,
wrong.
like when I first saw the movie, that part really brought it down for me. It took me a while to get back into it.
Right.
And then I saw it
No,
again the
not
next
at all.
day, and I
I
was
still
like,
hated it.
that scene sucks, but everything else is really, really good. And the thing that was a problem. I just expected like a dumb J.J. Abrams action movie in space. I was like, that's all I want. And the first time I was like, yeah, I got what I wanted.
Star
And then
Trek
it
09.
sat with me. And the
Mhm.
Star Trek 09 has a lot of great character stuff too. I was more Star Trek Into Darkness expecting it. And then I watched it again and I was like, holy shit, there's like a lot of good emotional beats in this movie, like
There are.
interesting character stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's just get out of the way. Ray's fucking the best. And
Yeah.
if you're
Totally Luke's daughter.
if you're complaining about her pushing back harder one time and not about Luke blowing up the Death Star, I just want you to reconsider like your life.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's all I'll say
also-
about that. That's all I want to say about
wait,
that.
also-
Really?
If there's a-
People
yeah.
say that it makes no sense for Rey to beat Kylo Ren because she doesn't have training, even though Kylo Ren gets
Okay,
shot
fine.
in the
Let's
stomach.
break that down really quick.
Hold on,
Then. Just really
quick.
quick.
Hold on, really
Right.
quick. I like how everybody always seems to forget the fact that she did beat the hell out of a couple of bandits in like the first 10 minutes of the
Yeah.
movie.
Mhm.
And people, she uses a lightsaber the same way as her bow staff. She's not doing
She
like
fights,
fencing.
yeah.
She's doing like
She's
elbows and
lunges
arms.
and
She's,
She
stuff.
lunges.
she's doing a lot more lunging.
Kylo Ren was shot in the side. We don't have to defend it. If you're
It's-
complaining about it, we're not going to
Keep-
sway you over.
I
But
know
I
it.
think it's
If you're
a.
You just
complaining-
have to let me know because I have not really heard a single complaint. So
Are you serious?
I haven't. I
No,
haven't.
Then you're good. You
Then
don't
you know
need to
what?
pay attention to it.
I'm just
Yeah,
curious
it's
because I
ridiculous.
hear that there's complaints.
I
I just
hear
don't know.
things.
You know what?
specific
Here's
ones.
here's the thing though. Okay, so people are complaining about the fact that she beat Kylo Ren. They're complaining about the fact that she was able to use the Force, like a strong Force move, like the Jedi mind trick, like 5 seconds into learning that she has the Force. There's a couple of things where it's just like, okay, cool, like this just happened and stuff like that. So I mean,
It works for pacing
It
and
works-
emotional
yeah.
and character.
It's
You
one of
don't-
those-
you
it's
don't
one
know
of
what
those-
you need.
I was just curious because I heard that there was complaints. I just didn't know what specific.
Yeah.
Here's
No,
the-
they're just weird.
I would
complaints
say
like that.
I would say that's the main complaint.
here's
Yeah.
the thing though.
Yeah.
But
Is
the thing
that
is,
when-
it's called The Force Awakens, not The Force in Training. Let us show you how everything
Here's
progresses.
Well, I mean, you don't know
Yeah.
everything about the character too. Why she knows this, so
Well, I
I'll
think
find
she's
out
just
later.
Force adept. I don't think there's like a secret backstory to that. I think she's
No,
just
I mean,
connected to the Force.
If
Yeah.
they,
Honestly, if they start explaining all that, like, oh, she knows because she was mind wiped at a young age after training.
you know
I'm
what?
gonna be
That's,
like,
No, I-
that's
I didn't-
boring.
Yeah.
no, but
It's kind
here's
of
the
a
Okay.
thing.
cop out.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing, though. is
okay,
that
wait. What's Nick gonna say?
Well, no, because in a couple of the newer books and different stuff like that, they actually say that the Force is, since the Force is connected to all of us, the past, everything, that you can technically like it's kind of like the Avatar state in a way, where it's like you can remember things inside of like really like grave like moments of danger and stuff like that. Not only that, but also people forget the fact that it's like, oh yeah, she has the Force. Obviously, she knows things that are going to happen faster and stuff like that. Like, so when she's fighting, she knows that certain things are going to happen. Qui-Gon Jinn says it in Phantom. I can't believe I'm using Phantom Menace to
Wait,
defend
I
myself.
don't get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
She knows what.
She,
what?
okay, so
Like
inside,
subconsciously.
yeah, like she
knows?
subconsciously knows. Not
I
only
don't think
that,
that's
but,
the case at all. I
no,
just
but-
think she's like Force sensitive.
Well, here's the thing though, is that yeah, she's Force sensitive, but even Qui-Gon Jinn says it when he was like, yeah, like when Anakin goes, oh yeah, like I know how to drive, I can pod race,
Mhm.
and then he
Yeah.
goes, oh yeah, you must be well in tune with the Force because those are Jedi reflexes Jedi have like better
And
reflexes.
then she
than
does the
most
Falcon
people.
thing, and
Yeah.
she's like, I don't know. And then
Yeah,
she's
she's
still
like-
like
and
fucking.
she's
Well, I
like,
mean,
I
she
don't
knew
know.
her way around a ship. it
Yeah,
seemed
no,
like.
no. I'm not complaining.
No,
Okay.
but
There's
it's one of,
multiple reasons for
yeah,
why
but it's
that
one of
works.
those things of like, it's the thing of like she knew that was gonna work type
Right.
of thing, and it's one of those things of like I don't know how I knew.
Well, no, she
that it
didn't
was gonna
know. She
work.
just tried, and then she's like, "Oh shit, I can do that."
Yeah, and then
That's the thing. Yeah, so that's where I'll take quibble with that. She didn't know. She just believed,
She believed she could,
and that's like the key to the Force, which is why
yeah.
ultimately bringing us around before we wrap up here, that Kylo Ren was clearly in a fucked up headspace. You know,
Yeah.
when he's like hitting his side after a shot, he's yelling
Yeah.
traitor at them. He's clearly thinking about more people than just them. He just killed his father, Han Solo. I hope nobody heard that outside. I didn't watch
It's
that
been
movie.
it's been a few weeks.
Yes,
But
a few
it's
weeks.
Star Wars, man. Okay,
Oh.
so anyways, so after that, he's clearly not in the right headspace, and then Rey was willing to believe in herself and push back, and that's literally all that happened there. It's
The
nothing-
only other
insane.
quibble I have with the movie is that I do believe that the White Storm the
Oh, okay.
the-
Captain Phasma's underutilized.
Yeah, Captain Phasma is underutilized, and I think she should have just been swapped out for the like
Traitor.
for the guy,
What's
for the
his
guy
name?
who does.
TR.
TR. That's just a fan name. He doesn't even have an actual
Yeah.
name. Just
So
throw
What's
it
his
through.
name
whatever
now?
that trooper is on Maz's planet, that yells out traitor, that should have been what was it? That should have just been Phasma.
Yeah.
And it would have been way cooler if like Chewie would have shot her and everything like that. And then, they carried her back onto the ship and they were like, okay, cool. We had a Phasma scene. She acted like a badass and then she got clipped
Yeah.
by Chewie's bow staff, by Chewie's bow gun. Oh, well. Cool. She
She
had a
even
moment.
cooler if she gets shot and she's like, ah, lol, and then just like beats the shit out of Chewbacca.
That would have been also cool too. But I mean,
And then she
it's-
has to run away because the reinforcements come. She's like,
No,
"Ah,
yeah.
I'm not that badass.
Yeah, and I think that would have that would have automatically. I think if you would have had that moment, nobody would have said anything about Captain Phasma and been like, "Well, she was lame."
Yeah, she isn't. She's no Boba Fett, which is weird for me to say because I hate Boba Fett. So
The ironic thing is, everybody always goes like, "Boba Fett's awesome." When
no,
you-
he's not. He's
when
not.
you think back on Boba
But
Fett,
he
what
does
did
something
do?
on Empire Strikes Back. He's at least he outmaneuvers Han Solo.
Yeah,
He looks
okay,
cool,
but that's
though.
one thing.
So does Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma looks cooler. But okay, enough of this.
Listen,
Let,